Okay, so I'm going to ask Leon Frazier if he'll go ahead and open us with prayer.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I will ask God to just please help us to understand better what is happening. I want to thank Him for doing what He have allowed to happen in this world, because I believe that man has become beside ourselves and we have not lived up to the responsibilities that God endowed us with. I believe that God made His world with good intentions, and I believe that He made man the most brilliant of all that He created. I think He gave man dominion over all things that He created and expected man to take care of his universe. And I believe that man has shucked that responsibility. So in my little way, I believe that all that we have suffered up to this point and all that we are suffering now has to do with us taking a look in the mirror at ourselves and just somehow finding a way to be a better people. And with that understanding, I thank God for all that He does to keep us healthy and strong and intelligent. And I just ask Him to give us the will to be a better people. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Chief. Amen. Okay, I think I heard Mr. Ruffin join us on the call. Did I hear you, Mr. Ruffin from Choctaw County?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay, thank you for being here. We just opened up with...
Hey, Brother Ruffin, how you doing?
Okay.
Doing good. Great to be here. Bob Turner. Yeah, okay, Mr. Turner. Good to hear your voice. Yes, sir. Always good to hear you. I'm like...
Okay, so we have Bullock, Macon, and Choctaw counties represented. What I'll do is I'll ask the two representatives from Bullock County to give an update from Bullock County. Then I'll ask Mr. Ruffin to update us from Choctaw County. We'll do Macon County third, and then I have an update by email from Marengo County. And if anybody else joins in, they can follow behind us in that order.
Okay, Ms. Thomas.
Okay, so Ms. Thomas, you want to go first, and then Mr. Turner, and come on down.
We'll yield to Mr. Turner because this is my first.
Well, go ahead and introduce yourself, Miss Turner, Miss Thomas, to the rest of the folks who may not be familiar with you on the call.
Okay, good evening. My name is Ansc Thomas. I'm from Bullock County, and I'm president of Bullock County Group.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. We're glad to have you. Anything else you want to add?
No, ma'am. I was just yielding to Mr. Turner, our political analyst and our coordinator.
Okay. All right, Mr. Turner.
Thank you, Sister Norma. As I said on last week, Bullock County has had a testing on April 7th, 2 weeks ago today. Strange enough, today, I don't want to steal Macon thunder, but Macon was supposed to test in Macon today. The governor is just downright pathetic. Open the back book when 3/4 of the state has not been tested.
Right.
They tested in Macon today. They tested in Bullock on the 7th. They tested in Lowndes on the 14th. There's once a week testing these Black Belt counties. It's just not going to do it. Of the test that's been done, approximately 50 persons or less in Bullock has been tested. Out of that number, 9 have shown positive signs. But let me clarify, like I did last week, out of that now, only 7 are truly Bullock County people. 1 person tested lives in Macon County, but has a Union Springs address. I said this last week. we're not being redundant, but the people who live in Fort Davis, in Armstrong, and in the southern part of Macon County, most of their mail come out of Union Springs.
Right.
And also people down on Highway 10, who some of them live in Macon, Chief, some of them live in Russell. They're on Union Springs address. So out of the 9 tested, 7 actually are Bullock Countyans. 1 is from Macon, from the Armstrong area with a Union Spring address, and the other one, strange enough to say, is a employee at the prison. He was tested in Bullock, but he lives in Montgomery. He works at the prison. They counted him as a Bullock County. So actually, we've had 7 out of the 9, but the testing is not being done properly. As everyone knows, black people are the last to test, and we have to do something about it. That's why I'm on this call tonight, because Macon was tested today. This is Macon's 2nd time being tested, I think. Loud was tested 1 time. Bullock been tested 1 time. They're supposed to come back to Bullock after they go to Circle. Macon was the first. Macon and Dallas were the first 2 in the black belt to be tested. So now they're back at Macon for a 2nd test. I guess they go to Dallas next week for a 2nd test, and it'll revolve back to the other 11 or 12 counties in the black belt.
I know Greene County had only had 1 day of testing that was supposed to have been last Wednesday, I believe.
We won't have 1 day of testing.
Greene County had only had 1 day, and that was last Wednesday. That was the first testing that they had done. Okay, anything else, Mr. Turner, from Bullock?
Bullock had 1 day of testing.
Okay.
And the audacity of the state health department, when they come to a county, I don't know what they're doing in Macon County, but the mayor of Union Springs, I talked to him today before I got on this call. He has not been told at all that it was coming. You would think they would get in contact with the mayor, the chief of police, the emergency management director, the sheriff, the chief of police, emergency management, the mayor, and the chairman of the county commission. The mayor told me he heard it like I did on the news that they were coming. No one has called his office and told him. I think the same thing's true of our chairman of our county commission, the police chief, and of our sheriff and emergency management director. And that's one strategy. The state health director ought to let the leaders know so they can inform people that they come into the community.
I agree. Okay. If there's nothing else, I'm going to ask Dr. Dunn to go first, and then followed by Leon Frazier. And if there's anything that I need to add from Macon, I'll add it at that time. So Dr. Dunn, you go ahead from Macon County, please.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I do have some good news. Tuskegee University has opened up its laboratory, and they are now getting ready to be a part of the collection of samples for individuals to test for the COVID-19. That means that we will be able to test a lot more people. One of the things that we have to do after all of the protocols have been met, that is, we have gotten permission from the Department of Public Health. They have said yes, and this was from Dr. Mary McIntyre, the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Gina Maxwell, who is part of the Macon County Health Department. She has agreed to send the samples out. Now, what that means is they cannot do the analysis of the test, but they will be able to collect the samples to go to be analyzed by the what they call the public laboratory. The whole idea will be beginning on Friday, April 24th. Tuskegee will be able to produce about 1,000 of these. They will be able to provide about 1,000 test-ready vials of media per week. Now, that's still not enough in terms of the number of people that we have in the county, which is running around between 9,000 and 12,000. But it will make a deep cut. What's the challenge? The challenge is that we got to have the state relax their protocol demands, and that is, if you have a symptom, then you can go and get a test. Somebody is walking or something. I'm hearing a little scraping.
Well, if you're not speaking, you can put your phone on mute.
And so they're asking if individuals can get testing despite their medical situation or their employment. In other words, it'll be open to the public. Also, Tuskegee University is donating all of that. However, had a meeting with Frank Lee and Crystal James. And Crystal James is the chairman of
Tell them who Frank and Crystal are, so for context for the others who might not know what positions they hold.
Right. I'm in the process.
Okay.
Crystal James is the chairman of the Graduate Department of Public Health, and Frank Lee is the director of emergency preparedness and Macon County. What is it? Macon County Department of Homeland Security.
He's emergency manager.
Did you hear me? Macon County Emergency Management and the Department of Homeland Security. Can you all hear me? Because my phone is kind of crazy.
Someone else just joined the call too. I wanted to get a record of who just came on.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Bernetta Perkins from Selma, Alabama.
Thank you, Bernetta Perkins. I'll fill you in just a minute. We got a report going on.
No worries. Thank you. Sorry, I'm late.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Dr. Dunn, go ahead.
The idea is to ask the Department of Health if they will relax those requirements for people having symptoms, and that anybody can take the test. We can start with Macon County, and basically Tuskegee University has agreed to move up the black belt in the manner that we have traditionally done in terms of community outreach. So we have not made any definitive strategies around how that's going to operate, but we are looking at Macon County to set the model, and then we will move up the black belt, hopefully to include all 12 counties. We are going to engage some of the students who have been involved with healthcare, and that is the nursing department and the Graduate School of Public Health. We don't know how that's going to operate yet, but I just wanted to share that that's on the drawing board for looking at how we're going to move forward with this. We are very, very excited about it. My organization, the Tuskegee Macon County Community Foundation, will be working with Department of Public Health to design the various ways of communicating with the public. That's going to include community-based organizations, the churches, and etc. We've got to work hard to get the message out. Now, one of the things that we also know, because we understand our people, that we're going to have to figure out to have a way of testing that's not directly at the public health facility. We might have to go into the communities because somehow or another our folk are not getting the message that this is so serious that they can die. So they're continuing to gather. They're continuing to have barbecues or late night parties and passing blunts between each other and just not taking any of this very seriously. I heard I was able to have I don't know if any of you got to hear Pebblin Warren, who shared with us this morning the statistics for the state of Alabama, and and that is we have 4,837 cases, 45,712 tests have been given. There have been 164 deaths, and 200 of the tests have been flawed, and this came out of the governor's office. Also, the penal system has had 3 positives and 1 death. I just want to shout out to those people that have been very instrumental in not only having the test done for the second time in Macon County, but have been involved with helping put this whole thing together around Tuskegee University, donating the test for our citizens, and that's Dina Maxwell, Dr. Scott Harris, Dr. Ruby Perry, Dr. Mary McIntyre, Attorney Crystal James, Mrs. Connie King, and Mr. Frank Lee. And I'm calling those names out without telling you all exactly what they're doing, but I just wanted to share those names with you all. It is very, very important. It is not important. It is critical that we get our people in for testing. That is the real bottom line. Now, we also know that there are flaws in how the data has been collected. So we're working on getting approval to do baseline data collection. That is the research. The research not just in terms of the numbers, but asking the question, why are our people behaving in the manner that they're behaving? And I call it the MIAPA research. That is all the way back to the influence of slavery on our behavior. We have not done a good job in doing that. We have found, we've done rationale for why we do things and all of these other kinds of excuses. But we better find out what's going on for real. And I think that kind of research is going to be very, very valuable, not only as it relates to the coronavirus 19, but anything else as it relates to health disparities. So I will, keep you all abreast of the ability to get and collect that data, and then sharing that data, of course, for everybody in the Black Belt. Frank Lee is going to be talking to the political infrastructure in the Black Belt. That is all of the political organizations, the mayors, etc., to see how we can fold all of this into a strategic move to get the word out and get the testing done as much as we possibly can. Now, the reality is 1,000 a week is not going to enable everybody to be tested, so we've got to figure out how that's going to be done. But get as many people as we possibly can tested, so that we can see the range of the infection of the virus, and how we can start holding it down, and as they say, flatten the curve. So I'm open for any questions that you may have, but I guess Chief Frazier can go ahead and add to it, and then we can take questions about what we're doing in Macon County.
Thank you, Dr. Dunn. Chief Frazier, I want to welcome Vernetta Perkins to the call. Vernetta, we have done Bullitt County update, and we're doing Macon. We're going to have an update from Choctaw County and Marengo County, and then I'm going to get to you for Dallas, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Okay, Mr. Frazier?
Okay, I'm very glad to hear Mayor Dunn's report, because if Tuskegee steps up to the plate and is really, really serious, they will be able to do what Meharry College, and anybody who want to Google that is M-E with a small H-A-R-R-Y College. I think it's in Tennessee, but I'm not exactly sure. But if you... Okay, so if you Google that, you will see that they are taking care of very serious business in doing testing of their own people. So that is a blessing. In relationship to people in the community not being notified by the health department, this is not really a time that we need to be dependent upon a health department official to do anything about notifying our community. That is something that we will have to do for ourselves, because this is the time, if it ever was one, that we step up to the plate and start saving ourselves. Now, the reason I say that is this. The health department came here to Macon County, and they did a little 4-hour thing, and they tested about 15 or 17 people, folded up their little tables, and left town. And if we had been satisfied with that, or if we had accepted that, then that probably would have been all that they did. But see, our leaders here did not accept that. Mr. Maxwell, the chairman of the council commission, Mayor Haygood of the city, EMA director Lee, they got on the phone and got the health department representative on the line. And they did to that man what I'm going to consider a pretty decent little roasting about the number of black people that is being documented as dying around this nation, and the lackadaisical attitude that is reflected by Alabama in its health department. And before that conversation was over, there was an agreement right away to bring another testing situation into Macon County today. Now, let's not deal with the systems the way that we've always dealt with them people, because the systems have never been designed or effective in taking care of us. And some of what we used to ask for, we're going to have to start demanding. And then perhaps we will come out on the other end with a better situation. Now, moving on from that sermon, Mayor Johnny Ford retired, of course, and the World Council of Mayors and about 17 other organizations had a conference, telephone conference, with some national figures that did an excellent job of articulating the causes and symptoms and solutions to possibly the problems that we are experiencing with this pandemic. And as a result of that conversation, it was decided that we had to go further than just talk on that telephone. So as a consequence, we put together a resolution that was designed not to ask the governor and the president to reconsider their interpretations of what's happening to us, rather to demand of them that they take a new look. Now, I don't know whether they are going to respond positively or not, because we haven't heard from the governor or the president yet, or anybody from the president's office. But just like Martin Luther King and Mrs. Amelia Boynton Robinson and hundreds of other people did in 1965, we took it to the steps of the Alabama governor and put it on her step. Now, we had to send it by email because the building did not allow us entrance with the conditions that we are suffering today. Now, if anybody on this call want me to send you that resolution, I will certainly do that. And I'll also send you a video of the press conference on the step of the State House, so that you can see that we didn't go down there begging and skinning and grinning. We went down there as serious as a heart attack, letting those people know that this is a new day. So therefore, there has to be a new way. So now, when I finish, if anybody's interested, if Miss Norma, if you have everybody's email, we can get it to them that way too.
I will. If you send it to me, I already have it. If they're in New South, I think Shelley sent some. I know she sent the video out to New South members. But if you send it to me, I'll make sure that everybody that's on this call gets it. Okay,
very good. Now, the next thing is we are looking at what's happening in Ridgewood Heights community, and we're watching the barbecues and the social gatherings and the crap games going on now, as if nothing is happening, and as if many in our community are disbelievers. They are non-believers. They don't seem to think that any professional know what they're talking about today, so they are just doing their thing. So when Mr. Scott Muhammad called me yesterday and expressed his, disappointment with that kind of behavior in our community, and these are mostly young people, who's going to go right on back and take whatever they find to their older people. And when Mr. Scott Muhammad called me, then I developed what I'm going to concern a community education campaign. And I put together a pamphlet that I sent to the chief of police, the sheriff, the mayor, the commission chairman, and Mr. Frank Lee, the emergency management director. And I sought their approval in getting this leaflet published in order to go into Ridgewood Heights community and have the police department do what the sheriff is very famous as, and that is to go in with red lights and sirens and wake up the whole community. And then go to each door, police officers, sheriff deputies, and police officers, not to arrest anybody, not to get downright indignant or try and pressure anybody, but to get this training document in the hands of the matriarchs and patriarchs of those families, making an appeal to them to get their household in order and to counsel their children in a way that will hopefully wake some of them up. Now, I've gotten feedback as early as today, and I just put it together last night, from all of those leaders signaling that they support this method. So this document points out in a 4-page leaflet clearly that this is serious business. And this virus is killing black people in a way that is 2 to 3 times that of any other people. So we are going to develop this and get it into every household in Ridgewood Apartments. And then we're going to develop a training model from that approach and take it then to all other communities. Now, I learned this from the sheriff because the sheriff is so innovative and creative until I watched him do a chicken traffic stop, whereas he invaded a community, red lights and sirens, and when people come running out to see what was going on, he asked them if they wanted some chicken. And he had a trailer full of frozen chicken that had been left over from the hurricane or the problem up in Lee County. And it's very effective because once you get the people's attention, they come out and they see that nobody's being arrested, there's no reason to run. Well, then we have a chance to put in this literature in the right hands. Now, we know that it's going to take some law enforcement to take care of the hard noses, because I don't care what group of people you go into, you're going to have some good some bad, and some ugly. So we are hoping that the educational piece going to the matriarchs and patriots will weed out the good people and get them out of line of law enforcement. Now, the second go-round then will be that law enforcement will return in force to point fingers at people and say, now we ask you very nicely not to do what you are doing. Now we are telling you, stop doing it and go home. Now there would be a third round too, because even that second round is not going to get to that hard nose. So that third round would be law enforcement going back, identifying those people who are naysayers and citing them based on the governor's mandate and the city ordinance that is in effect in this city of Tuskegee, and bring the smoke on them that needs to be brought on those people who fail to believe anything that has to do with reason, rationale, and or reasonable appeal. So those are the things that we are working on that I hope share some notions with some of you from these other counties. But I want to end my sermon with this. Again, I repeat, this is no time for us to be begging anybody for anything. It's time for black leaders and all the other people that they can rake and scrape to develop a no-nonsense approach to declaring that we are sick and tired of being sick and tired of the way that this system have treated and denied black people, and that we do not intend to take it anymore. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Frazier, for your report. Any questions for either Mayor Dunn or Mr. Frazier before we move on to Mr. Ruffin from Choctaw County? If not, we're going to hear from Mr. Bud Ruffin from Choctaw County.
Hello, I'm just glad to be here tonight, and this update from Choctaw County is that I think we have 18 confirmed cases in Choctaw County now at this time. On yesterday was our 6th screening. Did not have any more than 2 people that came out to be screened. I think that if we had more test kits in Choctaw County, as well as in all the other areas, that there would be other individuals that would be curious about their health that would come out. That is one of the problems that I'm hearing from amongst us here tonight, as well as seeing, is that there are some folks that are not concerned about their health or the health of their other neighbors, friends, and family members. Otherwise, they would come on out and or find a way to be screened just to see where they stand with this particular silent killer that is among us today. But we're working in Choctaw County to try to get the word out to people to get screened, and then those that have been screened are working to get back healthy again. And we are still working on different areas as far as if there is a resurgence or if this thing gets worse, and as well as working toward the future on what we will be doing to provide testing for individuals. That is what I have.
Okay, Mr. Ruffin, quick question. You said that you all have had 6 screenings. Have all of those been from the Alabama Department of Public Health, or you all have screening from another source?
No, these screenings was from the Alabama Department of Public Health.
Okay.
They are the lead on this. The lead in our county is our emergency management. Then they stepped down and turned it over to the Alabama Department of Public Health. And we monitor what they do. We assist them from our sheriff's department as far as traffic control and whatnot, and it is done at our health department on the properties of the health department, and the commission actually monitors what is happening with the screening, checking the numbers, and we stay in touch with one another as far as the commissioners throughout this Choctaw County. And go ahead.
What's the population of Choctaw County?
Say it again now, I'm sorry.
What's the population of Choctaw County?
Choctaw County is about 13,000 from the last census that we had.
And you had 6 testing already. And Macon only had 2. We've only had 1. So you had twice as many as Macon and Bullock put together.
Yeah.
I know the difference from Macon and Wilcox County, but now what can you attribute to you all getting 6 testing and we only had 3 combined, 1 in Bullock and 2 in Macon?
Well, can you back up from your phone a bit because you're muffled? You have a strong voice, so back up a little bit so we can hear what you're saying.
Well, know that I'm one of the commissioners in Choctaw County. I'm the commissioner of the district in Choctaw County. And when this we first started to have the breakout, we made the phone calls to our public health through our emergency management, the Homeland Security Department in Choctaw County, and had a meeting with them to find out what were they going to do, how they were going to do the testing, how many kits do they have, and we questioned them with all of this, and they had to bring a report back. We requested them to bring a report back to us of the kits and so on and so forth. And the problem at first was there was no test kits, is what we were told. So we asked them to make sure they get the test kits so that we can have our folks tested. Now, the question I asked was, out of the 18 confirmed cases, were all of those cases through public health? No, they weren't. Some of those cases were from other private doctor offices that have tested, and then that information was given back to the public health. That helps out.
It does. It sounds like you all were very proactive early on with contact with the state health department. I had one more question. Last week when we went through the different counties, you weren't here. Does Choctaw County have a hospital?
Yes, we do. We have a hospital in Choctaw County. We have, I can't tell you the exact number, but we have several doctor offices in Choctaw.
No, that's fine. We were just trying to get a feel for how many counties had hospitals and how many didn't.
Okay,
thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for Mr. Ruffin before we move on? Okay, so
I have one question, Norma. Did you all, when you all made your inquiry with the Department of Health, did you all get any resistance at all? And how many people are under the administration of your Department of Health? Is it just Choctaw County, and they have other counties, or are they focused primarily on your county?
No. There are other counties. I know Washington County is in the group. I don't know about north of here, whether it be Sumter. We're actually on the Mississippi border.
Right.
So I would, when I look at the counties, I look up and down, north and south. So Washington County is directly under us, and Clark County, I'm not for sure. I think this health department, I would have to check those numbers to see if they service Clark County also, because I know that we were concerned about one individual being tested, and we thought that it might be a problem, and so we checked with our health department to see where that person could be tested, because we were not testing in Choctaw County that week, and he was actually able to go to Washington County to be tested. I believe that date was last Thursday.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to give a quick report from Mr. Thomas Moore from Marengo County. He was unable to get on the call, but he sent his report by email, and it reads thusly. As of Tuesday afternoon, there have been 24 positive COVID-19 cases in Marengo County. And he has in parentheses note that 12 of these are from other counties, similar to what Mr. Turner reported from Bullock County. Surrounding counties are being counted in this. There has been one COVID-19 related death in Marengo County. 13 COVID-19 tests are pending results. He said so far 234 tests have been completed by Whitfield Regional Hospital Testing Unit. So they have a hospital that's testing in Marengo County. 2 positive COVID-19 cases are being treated at Whitfield Regional Hospital. 2 critically ill patients have been transported to UAB. And then at the bottom of his report, he says Whitfield Regional Hospital is one of only 15 in the state to receive one of the new COVID-19 test machines that will determine positive test results in 5 minutes. So it seems like they have a handle on it. He didn't mention anything about the state health department being involved. I will ask him after we finish his call if they have been involved and to what extent, but that's not in his report. So that's the report from Marengo County. I asked the next person, Bernetta Perkins, to join the call. She is a Selma native. She's moved back to Dallas County. We didn't have a representative on from Dallas County last week. And I also asked her to join the call because she is young enough to be able to think in a way that some of us on the call may not be thinking about ways to create an initiative from the Alabama Black Belt that might get some national attention and traction. So I'm going to ask Bernetta Perkins now. She will kind of update us on Dallas County and share any ideas that she might have with us.
Hey everybody, thank you for getting me on. So I am from Dallas County and I have been part of our preparedness initiatives here in Selma and the Dallas County area for about 4 weeks. I think today was our 4th call, maybe our 5th call. And then we started right after Jubilee. We've started having a community task force call every Tuesday at noon, which you all, I can send the number to Mom Jackson as well. On that call, on a regular basis, we have a representative from the governor's office, a representative from Terry Sewell's office, a representative from Doug Jones' office, the state school board. We have our local superintendent, county commission, city council, people, just all the way down to parents, business community, chamber, on the call, and everybody does a report out every Tuesday. I did not know that I was going to have to give the numbers, so I actually have them written somewhere, and I've been trying to flip through and find them. And so I don't have those to report out right now, but I may find them before I finish. I'm still flipping through pages to find my last report. Our last report. So the community has organized that effort. The 4 facilitators of that call are myself, Attorney Perkins, Senator Malika Fortier, Malika Sanders Fortier, Councilwoman Angela Benjamin, and Dr. Crystal Hardy, who has actually lived in New Orleans, but she's from Dallas County, and she's been helping facilitate our calls. So we do report out. So let me go through the different sectors as far as where we are. I think we have 25 cases in Selma, Dallas County area right now. We do have a Main Street clinic, which is a private testing facility that tests every 7 days a week. So they're testing 7 days a week. From the hospital, as far as I know, is not testing. I have to get my notes, get an update from today because I was in and out of that call because I was on another call. But the hospital, as of last week for sure, I know my information is as good as last week. I have to get some more updates from today, and I'll have all of the information for next week. But the hospital, as I understand, is not testing. But we also have Keisha Smith, who is one of an amazing Spelmanite that I love. I'm a Spelman graduate as well, but she is the CEO. I know I have to throw Spelman in there. She is the CEO of the Rural Health Clinic here. And I know that Rural Health has clinics in other counties, so I don't know if some of the other counties that Rural Health operates in are represented on this call. But as of today, Keisha's report was that they have gotten some of the PPP money to expand. They're doing telehealth for anybody with insurance or without insurance at her clinic. They have expanded and extensive telehealth services, and as of today, she said that they have gotten approval to be a testing site as well in Dallas County, but they have not gotten the PPE equipment in for them to be able to safely facilitate the testing. And she said that they have gone to a different vendor as of this week, and hopefully by next week, they will be an additional testing site that's up in Dallas County. So we have one full-time site that tests every day from 8 to 8 or something like that. It's something, I know it's 8 to 5. It may be a little different than that, and they are testing Saturday and Sundays as well. They do have adequate PPE in those places. There is a movement by our economic sector. I don't know if the chamber itself is doing this, looking for grant money and trying to get the community and small businesses aware of all of the funding that's available, because the SBA funds ran out so quick last time, and a lot of our small businesses won't make it through this if they don't receive some kind of assistance. So we have an initiative now to try to, we were working on it before the money ran out. Now it seems that as of today, there may be a new approval for a new stimulus package. So we are trying to work to make sure that we get that information out. Because the people that can find it online and that can do all this other kind of stuff, those are the people that are going to apply for it anyway. Right. But, Laney's barbecue spot and your barber shop and this person, those are the people that aren't getting the information, and those are the people that need the most help. So we're working on that. As it relates, we are having some challenges here with crowd gathering and the parties and stuff like that as well. We do not have as much of an organized initiative as Brenda mentioned earlier on the call. I love that 3-tiered approach. We had a bootleg version of that, which is we're going to give you a bunch of warnings, and police are going around and telling people to disperse, but that hasn't really worked. So now, as of today, the police chief said that they weren't issuing any more warnings. Everybody was going to be cited. Let me see, that safety. The jails have been an issue. Let me go back. We do have a hospital in Selma. We have Vaughn Regional Medical Center. Our hospital in Selma is also a residency program from UAB, which is great for us because they have ventilators, they have PPE. As far as I know, they made the 4th floor. The last report out from Mr. McCormick on the call was that the 4th floor of the hospital, I think, is our COVID unit. We had 201 tests. I found my notes. 200 tests. This is as of last week, y'all, not today. 201 tests that have been performed. 14 confirmed. 11 have visited the hospital. They had 3 out of 10 ventilators in use in the hospital. So, but that, like I said, that was as of last week. I know for sure that we have 25 confirmed cases here. Even though we have availability for testing, a lot of people are still not going to get tested. I don't know if that's because people are not showing symptoms and they just, is just not spreading, or if people are just suffering through it at home. I don't know how to explain that part. I can try to get some more information in, but we are working to see what we can do to expand testing. I think that's it for now. If anybody has questions, I can probably fill in more. But I think that's economic. We are working with our businesses. This is a big deal. Social distancing in our businesses. Walmart just last week started really being methodical and intentional in my mind about making sure that you only have a certain number of people going in the store at a time, and that they're properly social distancing inside the store. All Walmart does have pickup, which is what I generally do, but the problem is that the workers in these places do not have appropriate protective equipment. So when you're talking about, you'll have protective equipment at the hospitals and at the doctor's offices and the pharmacies, but the people that are bringing the bags out to the car, your cashiers, your whatever, they do not have appropriate protective equipment, and it's a huge risk to them because they're considered to be essential workers. The same thing at our mom and pop gas stations and our just little neighborhood stores. They do not have masks. People are going in and out. They're not doing appropriate social distancing with the business owners. So we're working to try to develop a movement to communicate with those business owners as to what they should be doing. The gap here. Walmart and some of the bigger places are getting it, but the mom and pop neighborhood stores are not getting it. And that's where this can break out in the neighborhood. Economics, PPE, grants, public safety, health. I think that's it for right now. But if you all need updates on anything else, we have been in contact with Bobby Singleton, who is actually on the governor's task force. And I'll say this, I also, as an attorney, I represent Hale County Commission. So I don't know.
Hale and Pickens counties are the two counties that we didn't have anybody from. So if you know anybody from Hale and Pickens, you can invite to join the call next week.
With Judge Crawford, I represent the commission. So I'll just give you an update on that as well because I'm on Hale County calls. Even though I live in Dallas County, I represent them, so I'm on their calls. Hale County does not have a hospital.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Hale County does have a hospital. Hale County does not have an ICU unit.
Okay.
And so Hale County does not have any ventilators. And as of the last call that I was on, they did not even have a respiratory therapist, even if they did get a ruling. And Senator Singleton was supposed to be working on this to try to get some resources there and get a plan where if cases spike, that we don't plan on sending them to Tuscaloosa or sending people, into other places. So they're trying to work on the logistics of that should the limited resources that they have be overrun. The courthouse is closed there until the governor's stay-at-home order. We are working now as to plans on how to safely reopen. Should we have to, get some government business back running again and how we're going to do that? Those are the resources that we're working through. And also working with Terry Sewell's office about getting some additional funding for cities and county commissions. The League of Municipalities is also, and the Alabama Conference of Black Mayors is also on the Dallas County call every Tuesday. So that may be another resource that we may want to tap in for this space as well, because I know they're working on some initiatives. And I also try to stay in contact with Mayor Reed in Montgomery, who is, one of my good friends from college, about what's happening there. So whatever he finds, I try to figure out what's happening in a way that we can tie what he and Randall are doing in Montgomery and Birmingham. I know they got on a call with the Alabama Conference of Black Mayors. This was maybe 2 weeks ago, though, so I don't know what they're doing to follow up with that, but I've been very adamant to him about y'all can't just do Montgomery and Birmingham.
Right.
Rural mayors don't know what to do, so we really need you all to partner with the Conference of Black Mayors to help walk some of the more rural mayors through some guidance on what we should or shouldn't be doing. So those are resources that we are networked into as well. I hope that wasn't too long.
Well, that was fine. That was a lot of information. Thank you for the report on Hale County as well. So if you could tap someone to join the call the next week if we decide to have a follow-up, and I'm sure we will. Any questions for Attorney Perkins before we get ready to wrap up? Okay, I was pleased to note the organized community task force that's having weekly calls, and I don't know if any of the other counties on the line have that. I know that in Macon County, they started out being that, but I don't know if it's ongoing and weekly. Do any of the other two Macon County people know if that group is still communicating on a weekly, at least a weekly basis? The sheriff, the commission, the mayor.
I don't know if meetings have been continued. I just want to say this. What has been very clear to me is the need for a coordinated effort, not just internal to individual counties, but for the Black Belt altogether. When you start talking about raising money, if we had a coordinated effort for all of our counties to ask for something and ask for something like $25 million as opposed to $250,000.
Right. That's exactly why I convened us together, because I think a regional strategy is going to be better than individual counties.
That's right. It is far superior to individuals going out. I appreciate the fact that Attorney Perkins pulled a coattail of the mayor in Birmingham and the mayor of Montgomery, both of whom are doing outstanding jobs in communicating and being very sensitive to the needs of their jurisdiction, the citizens in their jurisdiction. But I think that if we can somehow, and maybe I'm asking too much, but somehow get all of our people on the line, and that we really put together a strategic plan and figure out how we can do what we got to do. I think Chief Frazier was absolutely right. We cannot afford to sit down and wait on other people to do what we can do for ourselves. That is very, very critical for us to come to terms with. We have weaknesses and we have strengths, but doggone it, we got more strength than we have weaknesses. We've got individuals with talent. We've got individuals with skills and know-how. We ought to be able to save ourselves. So I am hopeful that, Norma, with your leadership and helping to pull all of this regional effort together, that we can do just that. Learning from each other, respecting each other, and really moving forward to say, hey, we are going to solve this problem, and we are going to save our people. And that's what we are doing.
Speaking of saving ourselves, my final report is that I did join last week that was one of the tasks that I took on Carol Zipper suggested that I get on the weekly SOS call, and I did on last Thursday. And they adopted a resolution that they would be a part of whatever initiative we develop. And that's a coalition of about, I think, 31 different organizations, of which New South is one. But they have agreed that they would work with us. So I am going to suggest that we open the floor for any last-minute things, and then we agree that we will get on the call again next week with the intention of inviting other people from these 12 Black Belt counties, and particularly if anybody knows anybody in Pickens County. So Vanetta's going to take care of Hale, but does anybody have any contact with anybody in Pickens County? That's the last county that we don't have a contact person for.
Mom Jackson, I have another suggestion as well. Whenever you're ready to take it.
Okay. Wait a minute, hold on. I hear two people talk about Vanetta, and who was the other person that was trying to say something so I can get you in? I thought I heard someone else. Okay, Vanetta, go ahead.
All right. I think that the Alabama Conference of Black Mayors is the convening ground. A good starting ground to work through what you're talking about.
Okay.
They are in regular contact with the League of Municipalities, and the Conference of Black Mayors is on our Dallas County Task Force call every Tuesday. Okay. And so they've been, well, let me take a step back. Number one, I will send out to you the conference call number for the Dallas County call on Tuesday. I think it'll be a good call for everybody to check into. because the update is all the way from the governor's office. So you have the governor, Terry Sewell, Doug Jones. Like it's one of the most comprehensive updates that I've seen. Because every week somebody from the governor's, every week somebody from Terry Sewell, every week. You know, Terry Sewell herself, Doug Jones himself has been on. If they're not there, they have somebody there. Senator Fortier is on. And so that's number one. If people just for informational purposes, so you can stay aware with all with the
Alabama black mayors.
I'm sorry?
Exactly.
Our task force call is the four people that I mentioned, myself, Senator Fortier, Councilwoman Angela Benjamin, and then, of course, our facilitators in New Orleans, Crystal Hardy.
Right.
That call. And we brought together the task force here. And so
that's the call that you're suggesting that we join, or was there another call?
Yes, that's the one that I'm talking about. It's comprehensive. And it's really a report. It's a town hall call. So it's a report from the governor's office all the way down.
Okay.
And I guess because we're kind of in the center of the Black Belt, the representatives, the elected representatives from the governor's office and from our federal representatives are on every week, and it's just extremely informative. That's number one. So that's just if y'all can just jump on and you can ask questions. You can also talk about things in other areas, but you can, because we have a Q&A at the end of the call. Okay. So that's number one. It's every Tuesday at noon, and I will send you the flyer for that with the call-in number.
Okay, cool. And I'll send it out to this group. Okay.
All right. Number two, as far as contact to start this regional effort, the spaces that I think between now and next week that you need to talk to and really just kind of strategize and organize with are the Alabama Conference of Black Mayors, and I don't remember her name, but I can get it from Councilwoman Benjamin because she's the one that had her on our call on a regular basis. She's working an effort with the mayors. I don't know what's happening, but I know that because it is a statewide organization and all of the counties that you are mentioning have generally mayors in it or black mayors in it that are part of the organization, it may be a good way to do it in a structured, it may be a good space to venture out to use where we all partner with them to work on some initiatives around the Black Belt. And number two is Senator Singleton, Bobby Singleton. He is on that state task force with Governor Ivey. As far as I know, he and the representative from Huntsville, I forgot his name, are the only two people of color that are on that task force.
Anthony Williams is his name.
Yes. And Senator Singleton. Anthony Williams. Yes, Anthony Williams. Yes. He and Senator Singleton have been very, very, very vocal. And I say this because one day Senator Sanders could not be on her call with the legislators and the governor, and she had me proxy for her on that call. So I got a chance to hear them in real time advocating, and they are literally yelling and screaming, we need a plan for the Black Belt. We need a plan for the whole community. And they are screaming loud. I don't know that they have a coalition behind them with that, but I do know that it's happening, and it's happening loudly there. I just don't know what coordinating effort they have.
The American leader in the Senate.
I'm sorry?
Senator Singleton, you said, the courage behind him, he's the minority leader in the Senate. The majority leader he's the minority leader.
He's really fighting for resources, but I think it would be a lot more powerful if he had an organized coalition. I agree. That we're mentioning behind him with a structured strategic plan coordinating all of our efforts, not just one area. He's on one of our calls in Dallas County as well, but he's always on the Hale County call, so I get a chance to go back and forth with him. So I would suggest reaching out to the lady from the Alabama Conference of Black Mayors and Senator Singleton. I can send you both of those, yes, ma'am. Wow. So that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can join in.
Exactly. Now, I want to add something to what you're saying, Attorney Perkins, because I think what you're talking about is very, very legitimate, and it makes sense.
But I want to say we also need to give them something to fight for. In other words, we have talked about a number of things on the call that we can develop that have something to do with the way we are as a people. Because you see, I go back to what Steve was talking about. I go back to what Tuskegee University is doing. How do we put that together so that the Bobby Singletons, when they're screaming and hollering, they're not just screaming and hollering, what y'all going to do for us? But they're going to say, we want to have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and we want to make sure that you all do that now. That's a much stronger argument than saying, y'all got to figure out how to do this for us. So I think we need to do that as a dual process, that we're looking at how we manage our own people and get the messages out to our own people and all of that kind of stuff and put it together in a structured fashion so that those people who are on the front line, who are fighting for us, will have some ammunition to fight with. So I would like to put on the table that we do both things.
I agree totally. Because everything we did here in Dallas County was grassroots, and we just brought people to what we were already doing. They didn't start anything. We just started calling people and organizing.
That's right.
I agree totally. And it's more helpful. Terry Sewell as well, her office is very proactive, and I think if we can take something to them, or I'll follow through. I'll call Senator Singleton. I'm going to talk to Senator 48 and see just what we can do and how we can engage and what their time is like.
For example, we have a very strong citizen engagement group. We call it the Movement 46. 46 represents our tag number. And we have been meeting every week to try to figure some of these things out. We have passed out about 3,000 flyers already in a manner that is easily read and easily interpreted by people, either who could not read or children or that kind of thing. We need to put those kinds of methodology on the table that will be helpful to our people. We've got to be real about who we are. We got people who have double disparities. For an example, they have both high blood pressure and cancer or some other combination, and
with no insurance.
With no insurance. And no Medicaid because the governor won't extend Medicaid. That's right. And no transportation to get the test for whatever the reasons are. So we need to if we don't do anything but list those things that prohibit us from getting the kind of care that we need to have, either in terms of our behavior or because of the economic disparities that they may be engaged in or being afflicted by. Also, we need to look at policy. What policies, and I think when I think they've gone to some of our elected officials in this area and say, what are you doing and how are you doing it and all that to help us deal with the policies that impact our communities. For example, you talked about the business world, our barbershops and our small business people who are suffering because of the coronavirus, as well as the fact that they can't have their customers come to them again. And finally, we've got to be really, really careful about this thing that is being pushed by the president and some of his Republican governors who are opening things up now. If we learn anything from the call-off, we can't learn anything else from the 1918 pandemic. It was they started, they did fine on the first wave, and then they got careless and they went into the second wave, and it was worse than it was in the first wave. And that is really going to be about us. And finally, food security. Food security is going to be the next problem that we're going to have to face in the Black Belt. I'm not even talking about the state of Alabama. I'm just talking about the Black Belt. And so we need to begin to plan around how we're going to manage that that problem as well. So with that, I quit.
Okay, so thank you for those final words. Anyone else have anything that we want to do? Let me just put the question out there. I'm pretty sure the answer is going to be yes, but can we meet again next Tuesday at the same time to follow up on? I'll send the notes out. But are we in agreement that we will meet again? I'll make the contact that Bernetta has suggested that we make. Some of them may be able to join us on the call. We're going to try to expand the call by adding Hale County and trying to get some of the other people that have not joined the county, the call here, Perry County and Sumter on the line as well.
Chief here.
Yes.
Before we close, one of the things that the attorney from Selma mentioned was the small businesses law. Anyone familiar with the term redlining?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. In my experience with the small business law, I can name individuals who applied for a small business loan the day after the bill passed, and they were told by the local bank that all the money was gone. Now, how it was gone, I know of an individual, I know a business person who was a small business in Union Springs, went to the bank, and they told him you must have a commercial account with it. Well, the person had a commercial account. Then said, well, all the money is gone. Now, $360 billion is gone with the first wave of money. So, to the attorney, to this body, if there's new money coming, we have to make sure that black people are given a fair chance of getting them some of the money. I just don't believe that the second day of the money being out there, it's like 13 days. The second day, a person was told that all the money was gone.
And that is a good example of the policy that causes us pain. And I am not even surprised about what you just said.
I agree totally. There have been several people, this is Attorney Perkins from Selma again, that have had that experience in counties all over the state and really all over the nation. And it's a challenge. I do know that several businesses and organizations are suing banks because my understanding from articles that I read is that there was a strategic effort around redirecting some people over here to the side and pushing other paperwork through, and there is some disparity in the way that was done, of course. And so that might be something that the lawyers need to engage in. I've been so involved in COVID planning, I really haven't checked into just the regular bar association about some of this. But I'll try to just start having some conversations and checking in with people to see what they're saying around that as well. And one last piece is related to communication. I heard you all say that you all pass out flyers, which is great, and I just would encourage everybody to have a multifaceted communication approach.
We do. That was just one aspect. We do live streaming.
Great. Okay, good. Yeah, I would just encourage everybody has a phone. If people don't have phones, they have a phone. And so we are working on also, in addition to our social media page and the live streams that we do, we are working on finding a text service. Crystal Hardy, who is one of our facilitators in New Orleans, they get a regular text 3 times a day with updated information. Example, I don't even know if the public in Selma knows yet that the health department is testing every Tuesday. They know about Main Street, but I don't think they know we have additional testing sites because our city government is not doing a good job of communicating. Most of that is happening through this task force. And so I just Googled literally yesterday easy text and looking at plans and working with the Selma Center for Nonviolence and Ansc Jackson about some funding to pay for a text service where we can send out, you can just text the number out multiple messages, text COVID, Black Belt or whatever to this number, and then they'll be a part of the listserv, and then we send out text messages 2 or 3 times a day updates about everything that's happening. The one that I found, this is actually the one that my church uses, is Easy Text. They have several different types of plans. So if you all are not doing anything like that with your local government, but to your local, in your locality, I would encourage you all to look at a text service as well to add to your communication plan strategy, as well as newspapers. And we also record our town hall meetings and play them on the radio.
Yeah, we do that on our local. I caught last month on the local table. So y'all, this has been a really great call.
Norma, can I add one last thing? The other thing that we're getting ready to do, we're making plans to do it now. For those business people that are not ready to be able to meet the qualifications, we're working with them. Helping them to get their stuff in order so that they can apply, so that we can do both of those things at the same time. So I just wanted to put that on the table, because some of our barber shops and beauty shops and some of the other small businesses are so busy doing what they do that they forget about the paperwork that's necessary for them to qualify for some of these loans. So we're working with those businesses as well. So we have to do that.
Chief here.
Yes.
Why don't you do a roundhouse and so that we can hear from everybody last word?
Yeah, that's what I was about to help us to do the wrap up. And I'm just going to go down the list. And anybody that has last words, we're going to do that, and then we're going to sign off. But we are agreed that we will talk next Tuesday at the same time. Any objections to that? Okay. All right. So, Ms. S.C. Thomas from Bullock County, do you have any last words?
Thank you for the opportunity. No other words. Good to meet everyone.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
Mr. Turner, any last words?
No.
Okay. Ms. Mayor Dunn?
I just want to thank you, Norma, for putting this together. This has been a very important move, and I thank everybody for sharing, and I look forward to Tuesday.
Thank you. Mr. Frazier?
I think that we're on the right track, and I think that we can learn from each other. And anything that somebody has that is meaningful, make sure that it gets to you so that you can distribute it to the rest of us. And then we take the best of all of those pieces and move forward to declare a new day, new way.
Thank you. Mr. Ruffin?
He's probably...
Are you on mute, Mr. Ruffin? Mr. Ruffin, are you still there? Are you on mute? Okay, so I'm going to admit I'm going to hold you for last, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. My last word is thank everybody for being here. I'm going to try to consolidate the notes that we took and send them out and make an effort to make contact with everybody that has been suggested before next week, as well as trying to get somebody from Perry on the phone next week, Sumter, and somebody from Pickens County. Those are my last words. I'm going to ask Renetta to close us out because I'm so proud of her. She's like my daughter by another mother. She and my daughter been best friends for almost 40 years now. I won't tell how old they are. In addition to being an attorney, I know y'all are. In addition to being an attorney, she's also an ordained minister. So I'm going to ask her if she would close us out with a prayer.
Could I break in just before that? Chief here, could I break in just before that?
For just consistently being who you are, and I just love you, and I'm grateful. I'm not surprised that you are still on the wall and still doing the work. So thank you for raising us the way you did, and we are present. So God is all on today.
Thank you. Yes.
May we pray. God, we just thank you for your goodness and your love. And we just lift you up and just know that throughout the ages, my mom said recently, Lord, you are the God of ages. And so every age, regardless of what's happening, God, you're still God, and you still sit high and you look low. And we just receive the grace that you've given us. We receive the free gift that we have in Christ and the victory that we have in him. And we receive the strength of our ancestors as we walk this walk, God. You've always given us strategies and ways to advance and to survive and to thrive. And we've always leaned and depended on you, and we do it again. And we cover everyone in prayer and plead the blood of Jesus over everyone affected with this virus, and family members of those infected with this virus. And we just pray for supernatural healing, oh God, and we pray for supernatural favor, for resources, for our people. And we just thank you for it. We believe you for the victory, that you will be the God now that you've always been to us, and bringing us into victory, and allowing us to survive and thrive. And so we just appreciate the victory, and we thank you for the strength and grace. In Jesus' name, amen.